Welcome back, everybody. Do you like slushies? Well, you probably do, but do you like them when they're just a liquid and not an actual slushie? If you do, then these may be the drinks for you. Right in front of me, I have the Alani new Slush Collection. Yippee. Now, you may be noticing right away, Brandon, your voice sounds weird as shit. Yeah, there's something wrong with me. I don't think I'm sick, but my voice is just really fucked up right now. So you're going to have to bear with me. Anyway, I have cherry slush, pink slush, and one that I've never tried, blue slush. I don't really know what to call this apart from just the slush collection. It's obviously not a collab. They just have these 3 different slush flavors. I kind of wanted to wait to make this video because I think in January or February they're going to be releasing a lime slush. So I'll definitely be talking about that one when it comes out. But for right now, this is what we've got. Now, one interesting thing about Alani's that I don't think I mentioned in episode 15, which was my only other Alani episode, is that some are good and some are not for one particular reason, and that's the ingredients. If you take a look at the ingredients list here, you can see vegetable juice for color. Not all Alani's have that, but typically the ones that do aren't as good, and the ones that are clear, that don't have the juice for color, tend to be better. I don't know if it's just like a more recent thing that they're doing, that they're changing the formulas, but every single can of cherry slush I've seen has the color, and pink and blue both do not. Now, like I said, I've never had blue slush, so I don't know how that one is, but I do know how these two are, and while I did already kind of spoil it, right here, we're going to figure out which one really is the best. And we're going to start with cherry slush, because it's the first one that I had. So, a few months ago, I tried getting into Alani, and I think cherry slush was one of the most appealing sounding flavors, so it was one of the first ones I tried. And I think I liked it. I don't remember. Most drinks I have end up being not that bad. But the only way to find out whether I really like it is to try it right here. So, it's kind of hard to tell, but, well, I just poured it all over the fucking counter. But yeah, it does have color. It smells like a cherry-flavored Red Bull. So, not that appealing. We all know how I am with Red Bulls. But, is it good? Bottoms up. Alright. Ow! Alright, despite the very gross reaction, that's actually better than I remember. It definitely is very cherry flavored. Does kind of taste like the juice left over from a snow cone or something. So it's pretty concentrated in flavor, but it's also like a very good, like, cherry candy kind of flavor. I don't really, it doesn't hit my stomach weird like I remember it doing. This one's pretty good, you know, it's got a good cherry flavor in there, doesn't hit my stomach weird. I like this one. It's better than I remember it being. So, I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I think that's a fair rating. Next up, pink slush. Now, unfortunately, I am going to have to spoil this right away, but I remember the first time I tried this one being pleasantly surprised because I thought it was going to be similar to cherry slush, but this one I remember being a lot better. So hopefully that's still the case. Now, if you look at the ingredients on here, like I said before, you'll notice it doesn't have that fruit or vegetable juice anywhere. And this one also does say 2025. Both of the other ones say 2024, but once again, the blue slush also does not have the color in it. So, you know, I'm kind of curious what's going on with that. But let's find out how this one is. Ooh, good crack on that one. So yeah, you can already tell it's clear. It smells acidic as fuck. It does not smell like something you should be putting in your body. But I've found on this show that a lot of times the smell of something really doesn't matter until you get to the taste. So, that being said, bottoms up. Okay, so being called pink slush, I'm not really entirely sure what the flavor was intended to be, but I'm tasting like three different things. I get a little bit of strawberry, but mostly I get cotton candy and kind of a bubblegum flavor. It really kind of reminds me of like the strawberry Ghost Bubblicious. It's a pretty similar taste to that. It's not quite like I do prefer the Ghost, but this one, I don't know if I would say it's that much better. I think I'm going to give it an 8.5. I think that's fair. It's a really good flavor. This one also doesn't hit the stomach weird. It does smell a little weird, so that's kind of off-putting, but it's like a nice kind of bubblegum flavor to it, I think it's pretty good. So hopefully the blue slush is just as good. And of course, blue slush. Now, like I said before, I've never had this one, so if I had to guess, given that it's blue, it's probably like blue raspberry, because what else would it be? I highly doubt it's blueberry, and I literally see a blue raspberry right there, so I think it's safe to assume that this is a blue raspberry flavor. But, of course, I don't know how the flavor actually is, so let's crack her open. And once again, you can see it's clear. Smells very similar to the pink one, like acidic, but does have a slight blue raspberry smell to it, so about what I would expect. But of course, let's find out how it tastes. Bottoms up. What? And of course, I didn't forget the King's Chalice. So, let's start. Starting with, obviously, cherry slush. Then pink slush. And, of course, blue slush. Mix it around. Oh, Lord. I can't really describe the smell, but it definitely smells like all three of them. So, about what I would expect, but bottoms up. It just kind of tastes like a fruity soda. Yeah, so not bad, just a little odd. I'd say probably don't mix them unless you really need 600 milligrams, and then you could just drink all of them. I think that's a really horrible idea, and if you've never had that much caffeine in one sitting, you'll probably shit your pants, and I'm not joking. Like, you may actually genuinely shit your pants, so probably shouldn't do that. But overall, as a King's Chalice, not bad. And overall, as a collection, pretty good. So, I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. Because Alani is a little finicky, but overall, they tend to be good from my experience. So, hopefully, there's more good Alanis to talk about in the future.